89% of business leaders say AI is a top priority. The right choice is crucial, which is why teams at 1/3 of Fortune 500 companies use Grammarly. Grammarly is the right AI assistant for your team. With top-tier security credentials and 15 years of experience in responsible AI, Grammarly is how companies like yours increase productivity while keeping data protected and private. See why 70,000 teams trust Grammarly at grammarly.com/enterprise.
The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Radio with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. And now, here is Jonathan Marks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another show of Go to Health. My name is Jonathan Marks. So happy to be here with you today. And I've been learning a little bit more about my audience. I really appreciate that you are listening. I want to give a shout out to my folks in New York, in California, in Chicago, and also in Texas. So we're all over the country. And I was really surprised. We have quite a large following in the northernmost province of China. So I want to welcome all my Chinese visitors here today and hope you're enjoying the show as well. We're also in a number of other countries throughout Europe and Asia, so it's really great to be with you. So today's show is about how to live pain-free without drugs or surgery. Does that sound possible? So let me ask a few questions. Do you have chronic pain that the doctor, surgeon, or chiropractor can't fix? Are you tired of side effects of endless pain medication and possibly injections? Are you the weekend warrior or the serious athlete who wants to recover and really be an athlete again? And would you like to attain the dream of living pain-free? Well, we have a guest today who's going to help us all with that. Her name is Jessica Leggio. She's the leading authority in recovering from physical pain and injuries. She co-founded RunPainFree, Inc., a company focused on helping people in pain and runners with common run injuries. She helps them fix, heal, and correct their ailments through their injury recovery program. Given her expertise, she has helped thousands of people from around the world get over chronic pain. And it's whether you're an athlete or not. It's if you're in pain. She wants to help you live pain-free. So she helps you get over your pain or identify the root cause of your ailment so you can return to life living pain-free. Her RunPainFree program and strategies have changed the running community of today and have even set new standards for recovering from common pains and ailments without conventional devices and pain medicine. She shares her life work, over 85,000 hours with injury folks alone, to enable more people to live pain-free and more runners to run pain-free without physical limitations. Jessica, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. That is a mouthful, but it's all true. So thank you so much for having me, Jonathan.
It's a pleasure to have you. So Jessica specializes in sports biomechanics, injury correction, and you're also a conditioning expert. So start telling me about the business and the services that you provide, Jessica.
Okay, so our actual business name is actually hashtag RunPainFree Inc. That hashtag is the registered name. And it's because it's such a common thing that people really want to run pain-free, but we want them all to live pain-free. So we bring everything to the table, from basic human function to exhausting human function, and then not having a body that's in pain for it. And so all of the programming literally takes whatever you got going on and honors that wherever your body is, and finds out why it's in dysfunction, because we all are, we're human. And then really taking it through its processes with honoring the dysfunction and then retraining it and to become functional, and then solidifying that. So I bring literally everything I've ever done in my lifetime into the programming. As a person who was hit by a truck, I am a product of what I do.
Oh, wow.
So that's how it all kind of started. I always trained functionally. I leaned on the functional side. I was already a functional movement expert at the time when that happened to me, and a trainer and a PT aide and all that stuff, which we'll get into later. But I didn't know that I had the tools to fix myself. So I went through the gamut of the entire and the whole system, and getting nowhere. So bringing everything to the table, being like, oh, I actually have all the tools that I need if I listen to what my body is saying and actually know what it means. And then really pulling all that together, that biomechanics really sealed the deal to really sports biomechanics is figuring out how you got injured so it never happens again. So it's very specific than just biomechanics. It's very different and much more mathematics is much more involved in that. So sports biomechanics is really more about understanding what happened, like what transpired, where it came from, and then pulling all of those areas into play.
So let me ask a question, and maybe this might be difficult to answer, but what is it? So people may be saying doctors, surgeons, chiropractors. What is it that the doctors, surgeons, and chiropractors miss in terms of recovery from pain? What's different about your services?
Mobility. Mobility is extremely specialized. And it's something I've been honestly doing since I'm 3 years old. I've been studying movement, body movement since I'm 3. Not like I wanted to. It's just something that's natural for me. And I fixed my first back when I was 14 years old. I fixed my first hip at 18 without any of this education that I have now. So mobility, doctors do amazing things. Chiros do amazing things. Every facet of the medical industry, health industry, they all do amazing things. But we all have limits. I'm not a surgeon, so I'm not going to cut anybody open. Surgeons refer to me because they respect mobility, but it has to get all the way to that place for them to actually say, okay, go see if she can fix you before I replace that hip. I get referrals from surgeons all the time for that reason. So mobility, you can't have someone sit on a table and say, oh, that's knee pain. Like their knee is never anything wrong with the knee. It is coming from somewhere else, is at the vulnerable spot of the leg. So it's just in a bad spot, it gets a bad rep, and it gets a lot of problems from the top and the bottom. There's nothing ever wrong with someone's knee. Let it go on long enough, now you got a knee problem. But it's always coming from somewhere else. And so we don't, focusing on a pain spot and doing like that triage, stop the bleeding, so to speak. That's more so where they go to, and they should. That's their education. Mobility specialist, functional movement specialist education is more of the story. What happened? It wasn't that run. The run didn't do it. It wasn't that climb on the ladder. It wasn't that gardening that day. It's a compound thing that's been happening for a long time that your body has nurtured. That's what we figure out. So it's digging. There's a lot more time and investment in mobility specialty that either they can't do. It's not that they can't do it. It's just not what they do. And mobility is very specialized. So they should refer, honestly.
Right. Got it. So I have to say, I watched one of Jessica's videos on plantar fasciitis, and I want to use this as an example. First of all, it's an incredible video. I went to see a podiatrist about the pain in my foot, and was basically instructed to wear special inserts that supported my arch. And it's good. It hasn't relieved the fasciitis. It's relieved the pain. The fasciitis is probably still there. So share with us, Jessica, how the hip bone's connected to the knee bone's connected to the foot bone is connected to the plantar fasciitis bone.
So plantar fasciitis is the biggest red flag you'll ever get in the lower leg that you have a hip issue. By the time you get plantar fasciitis, you've bypassed shin splints, calf tightness, maybe some Achilles stuff. By the time it gets to plantar fasciitis, there's a chain that happens. So your body gives you red flags. And if they're not big enough, you let it be. But when it gets to be plantar fasciitis, it becomes an actual issue. So that's when people go in usually, and they'll either get shots in their foot, or they'll get an orthotic, or they get a stability sneaker. All of those things nurture the plantar fasciitis. They actually don't fix it. They nurture it, and they keep you in that pocket. Wow. The problem is stability sneakers and orthotics are offsetting your hips, which are already an issue. So your hip and your foot are synonymous in terms of movement. So if I get too scientific, let me know. Yeah. Okay. But I think your audience will appreciate it. So the hip and the foot are synonymous in terms of movement when it comes to flexion and extension. So if your foot isn't flexing and extending, your hip isn't. And if that hip isn't, the foot isn't. And they do that. So what happens is the knee gets the brunt of it because it's in the middle of the leg. And you really never feel hip pain at your hip. You feel it at your foot. So anything from the knee down is always hip dysfunction. Like I can guarantee that, nearly guarantee that. It's always up top. Where? I'll figure it out. But that's where it's coming from. There's a level of dysfunction up top that's disallowing that mobility. And then you go put an orthotic in and it locks you there. Then you put a stability sneaker on and it atrophies your foot, and then you decondition muscle and locks you there. So it's compounding the issue. It's not fixing it. Plantar fasciitis really is tight calves because you're constantly in your toe. Well, if you're constantly in your toe, you can't drop in your heel. Dropping in your heel means your hamstrings are fully extended and your knees can be straightened. Most people keep a soft knee, a slightly bent knee, because they actually can't fully extend their knees. Either it doesn't feel good or they're afraid they're hyperextending. That's a very deep issue on the psoas muscle on your spine. So this gives you an idea of what I mean by the level of investment in terms of what's going on. That's what mobility does. That's what I do. That's how deep I go. I don't stop until I figure out how deep is this problem, and then I go there. So I get rid of plantar fasciitis quickly, very quickly.
And how does that happen?
You have to release all the restriction in the lower leg and in the foot and all the way up, and then retrain the mobility. It doesn't know how to move. Yeah. And the pain is there, but it's not coming from there. So when you hyper focus on these pain spots, you miss the mark. But while you're missing the mark, the real problem is getting worse by the day. Wow. Life is a sport. So it's not, we do work with a lot of athletes and a lot of runners. Yes. But life is a sport. So I want you to do all these fun stuff and all these things. Great. But my real goal is for you to live pain-free. That's the whole point. Because what's the fun of the activity if you are in pain for weeks? Right. Like, what does that make sense?
Now, do you work with people who are, I don't know what example to say, but let's say in wheelchairs or can't get out of bed?
I have. Yeah, I do. I definitely have. I have had people with like 5 breaks in their pelvis in a wheelchair and get them walking again. I have people who are like even cardiac, like heart problems, getting them back mobile. I've done a lot of post-COVID work to get them back mobile again. I love a challenge and I like complexity. So I like to, as long as someone has the will, I'll fix anything.
and when you say post-COVID, I'm interested, did COVID, because we were all cooped up in our homes and stuff, did that bring about a whole new set of problems? Can you talk about that?
People literally recovering from COVID. That's the biggest part. So,
you mean from having COVID? From having
COVID, yeah.
Okay.
Just their being able to walk again. That's been a big issue. And so the mobility aspect to that and being able to, muscle function and joint function, all that's been heavily affected by it. So I've had a lot of people I've worked with for that too.
Right. And I was just curious because I haven't had COVID yet, thank God. But I was thinking because I've been so cooped up in the house and not getting out or going to the gym or whatever, have you seen less, less mobility? Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. I'm in New York City. So our culture here is to be out. We're never supposed to be home really. So, and there's nowhere to go when you're in these apartments. It's especially we were one of the most locked down, if not the most locked down. So there was nowhere for us to go. So everybody, a lot of hamstring problems from sitting, a lot of back problems from sitting, which is all really psoas. It's not really your back or your hamstrings. And so that's been the biggest thing. It's and endurance, the ability to actually be able to get their heart pumping again, getting losing endurance in their muscle, their ability to walk longer outside, been very affected. Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned it a couple of times, the psoas muscle. What is the psoas muscle and where is it?
I can't not say it for some reason. So the psoas muscle is the deepest muscle in your body. It's one of 2 hip flexors. It is along either side of the entire lumbar, starting right underneath your shoulder blades. For those of you out there, it goes all the way down your entire lumbar and then goes around your SI joint and then shoots forward and attaches inside your femur at your hip. So it literally connects your body top to bottom. So sitting is a psoas action. Wow. Knee raising is a psoas. Walking is a psoas action. And the second one, there's only one other one, and that's a sartorius. And it's the longest muscle in the body. And that's all the way at the bottom of your knee, underneath your knee at your shin, up and across your quad, above and out of your hip, attaching like right at above your pelvis type of area. So these are, people think they have a hip flexor muscle in the front of their leg. And that's another thing that is a problem with people in pain, is like there's a social narrative of words that don't actually exist. Like groin is an area. There's no groin muscle. Okay. So like people like, I strained my groin. That's actually your psoas. So, my hip hurts, and they are touching. If I say put your hands on your hips, you put them on your waist.
Yeah.
Right. That's not, your hips are in your way down below in your thighs, on the outer, below your glute. Is your actual hip bone. So when someone's like, my hips hurt, and they point up here and like my hem, like, that's not your hip, that's your pelvis, your iliac crest. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on up there, but that's not your hip. People will point to their quads, the muscles in front of their legs, and say, my hamstrings hurt. So I like to speak when I do like my lives and my podcasts and stuff. I really do explain anatomy, and I really try to point things out and correct that, because I think that also hurts people when they don't realize that they're pointing to a place that either is wrong anatomy wise or actually doesn't exist. It's just a social narrative that was been created by God knows who.
Yeah. Right. And another social narrative I'm going to say is like, when you get hurt or get injured, is like, don't move it, don't exercise it. Tell me more about that. Worst
thing to do is not to move. Again, I think that leans to, I don't do general information. I'm very specialized. I go very individualized. So I will give that weight to, okay, when you're Googling something and that your back is in spasm, when your back is in spasm, you're Googling it, Google's going to tell you, lay down, don't move. Which I can understand that, because they don't want it. They're not going to be able to give you like, okay, you should be doing this or doing that. It's generalized information. It's a generalized internet. I get it. However, it is the worst thing to do for, like, say, back pain, is to lay down. You want to generate everything's going to lock up. The minute your back starts to seize up, as a back injured person, the minute the back seizes up, it trickles, and every single muscle, it's like it falls in line and everybody locks up. If you just simply walk, you will allow blood flow to the spine. It will generate blood flow to the spine. Blood flow equals no pain. No blood flow, pain. It's very simple. Wow. But there's a fear associated with that, which I totally get, which is also why I do so many interviews and podcasts of my own, and a lot of live streams of my own, and my webinars, to educate people to get rid of the fear as much as possible. Because the fear of that is like, oh my God, I got to stop. Like, I've worked with professional athletes that are like, I felt my hip, so I stopped everything and laid down for 3 days. I don't know where they got that. Like, professional athletes, I'm like, you should have me in your pocket. Someone like me should be in your pocket. That's the worst thing you should do, because then the injury settles.
Got it.
When the injury settles, it takes longer to get rid of it.
Good. So we're talking with Jessica Leggio. She's a specialist in sports biomechanics, injury correction. She's also a conditioning expert, and her website is RunPainFreeNow.com. RunPainFreeNow.com. We'll be back with Jessica again, find out more about her and her practice. Stay with us.
Work takes up most of your time. That's why you should use Stamps.com to save time with your mailing and shipping. Stamps.com will simplify your postage needs and add valuable time back into your workday, so you have flexibility to focus on more important things. Stamps.com can handle your mailing and shipping needs with rates up to 88% off UPS and USPS. Send invoices, checks, certified mail, packages, and anything else you need to keep your business running with Stamps.com. If you sell online, connecting with every major marketplace and shopping cart is easy. Plus, you can schedule package pickups through their dashboard and automatically see your cheapest and fastest shipping options from different carriers with Stamps.com's Rate Advisor. Add more flexibility to your workday with Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com/program to sign up for a special offer. No contract, cancel anytime. That's Stamps.com/program.
Right back.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit Facebook.com/Voice America.
Psych Up Live with host Dr. Suzanne Phillips offers a psychological perspective on coping with common and current life issues. This show addresses topics as varied as marital stress, insomnia, depression, raising teens, campus violence, and building self-resilience. Listen in as Dr. Phillips and her guest experts share the latest in books, findings, and information that will inform and enhance your life journey. Psych Up Live is heard every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel.
Tune in to The Patricia Raskin Show on voiceamerica.com every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 11 a.m. Pacific Time. This is the program that helps you turn obstacles into opportunities, challenges into solutions, and find answers to tough questions with the award-winning powerhouse voice of radio, Patricia Raskin. So tune in and call in to The Patricia Raskin Show, Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 11 a.m. Pacific Time, right here on the Voice America Variety Channel.
Voice America presents a new kind of health awareness talk show, the Sharon Kleine Hour, Health, Environment, and the Power of Water. Show host Sharon Kleine interviews leading scientists to discover how each of us can become proactive in protecting our personal health environment in an increasingly unhealthy world. Every show offers new information that could save your life. The Sharon Kleine Hour is health from an environmental perspective, your ultimate source for a personal environmental lifestyle. Listen Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel and Wednesdays at 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel.
Now you don't have to stay linked to your desktop or laptop. Take Voice America on the go and listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You are listening to Go to Health Radio. To reach Jonathan Marks or his guest expert on the live program, call in to 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. You may also send an email to jonathanmarks@gotohealthmedia.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Okay, welcome back. We're with Jessica Leggio today. She's a specialist in sports biomechanics, injury correction, and she's also a conditioning expert. Her website is RunPainFreeNow.com. And I was so happy to hear during the break that she sees anybody virtually. She doesn't see anybody in person. She works virtually with patients around the globe, I guess.
Around the globe, yes.
Really, that's great. So, Jessica, I wanted to follow up on what you were talking about just before the break about this fear of staying away from exercise or running or sports or whatever because you're afraid of getting hurt or you've had an injury. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, fear, I think, is as debilitating as a physical injury. And I can fix anything. I tell everybody that comes to me, I can fix anything you come to me with. But the biggest thing I'm going to give you back is trust in your body. Because once somebody loses that trust in their body, you move differently when you've been injured. You know, like I was hit by a truck as a pedestrian. I didn't see it coming. It caught me off guard, hit me in my back. Even though I'm corrected, I've never moved the same in life. Beyond that, you take precaution. You just move differently. I don't need to do zip lining. Like I don't need to do that. And there's a very deep reason that you hold back from doing certain things. And that fear really comes from the unknown. Like, what is going to happen to me if that happens? What if this happens? What if I run and I do that? What if I climb that and do that? And, and anybody who's ever hurt their back, it's even worse because like the one thing you never want to injure is your back. Next to that would be your hips. So the fear really, I have seen debilitate people. They go down black holes. Depression is real. That kicks in. The fear of getting injured after being injured, it's real now. It's been a real experience. So it's not just in your head. You actually know what that feels like. Yeah. And that feeds itself until you understand how it happened. What do you actually have power to fix? And that's really where I come from in a personal space when I deal with people.
Mm-hmm. So while we're on this topic, tell us your story. You said you were hit by a truck, and how did you get into this exercise physiology and biomechanics? Tell us this story.
Okay, so I've been a dancer since I'm 3. I started choreographing at 12. And in order to choreograph movement, you have to understand how the body moves. So I mention that because it lends to how early on body movement was a thing for me. I started teaching and running a dance company at 18, and I fixed both my parents' backs at 14. So I've always operated in a very functional way. I was a competitive cheerleader, played volleyball. I played powder puff football. I was a quarterback. I was always into athletics. I was always athletic in that regard, but I never knew that I was doing anything special per se, but I always wanted to move on with it. So I have a business degree in entertainment marketing management, but I knew I wanted to help people. I've had health issues my entire life. I had a lot of nutrition background. I minored in biology, and then I wanted to become a trainer. So I started training for Equinox in New York City, and I became a top trainer for my locations, and I was ranked number 26 in the country for them. Wow. And then I was naturally working with people in pain. It was just something natural for me. And then functional movement systems is a system that a PT and an athletic conditioning coach, strength conditioning coaches, created a system that was going to help their athletes, both professionally and collegiate, actually heal from their injuries because they realized their perspectives were not working individually. And they came to Equinox and chose 25 of us to go through that at an extensive rate to see if it would actually help in regular people. And it did. And so I'm one of 25 that went through that. And then I got hit by a truck.
So tell me about this. How did it happen, and what happened afterwards, and what was your path?
Yeah. So I was standing behind in a dead end street, and a Toyota pickup took the turn very wide. Person was on their phone and hit me dead in my back. Wow. I flipped up over onto the hood, flipped over the other side of the hood, and landed in a push-up. Wow. So I didn't lose consciousness, but my shoulder was totally out of the socket. I broke my hip. I chipped the top off my femur where my hip and my femur connect.
Now, your femur is what?
The thigh bone.
The thigh bone. Okay.
Yeah. So the top of that bone is the neck of where it meets the ball and socket of the hip per se. So I chipped that top off. So I didn't have connection from hip to leg. Oh my gosh. And then I also fractured my hip. So I broke my hip as well. Wow. I had separated my shoulder. They didn't put it back in place. I still have a bone that protrudes out. And December 15th was the date. So I'm coming up on my date.
How many years ago was this?
It will be 12.
12 years. Okay.
12 years ago, 12 years ago. And so I was a master trainer. I was a PT8 at the time and a functional movement specialist all at the time. And I went through the mill. The back surgeons told me my back pain was in my head and to go read a book from one of the top back hospitals here in New York City. And then I paid out of pocket for an MRI. After a year of being in pain, I wore pain patches working in Equinox. I was hiding my pain because I was a liability being in pain, training people. I lost my car. I wound up losing my job for not performing, and I lost my apartment. But I fought to get my job back for unlawful termination, and I got it back. And then I found out that all of my lumbar discs in my back were hugely bulging. So the back takes a long time to come into play. Wow. So I thought my hip was a problem and my shoulder was a problem until the back showed up. So it was a year before I actually started my own correction. And my partner and I was just about to throw the towel in. I was like, I can't deal with the pain. It's too much. I can't work. I can't do this anymore. I'm going back to corporate America. I can't do this. And he was like, let's just see if what we know actually fixes you. And within 5 minutes, we knew where my pain was coming from. It wasn't coming from where we thought. And my correction started, and RunPainFree was born in that moment.
Wait. So how did you figure this out in 5 minutes? Is it from what you knew before?
It was from what I knew before. Okay. Yeah. So there's assessments and mobility assessments that we had known for years that we'd been doing. But, you really believe a doctor has to help you. An orthopedic has to help you. A chiro has to help. I worked with PT doctors. I was a PT8, and he looked at me and said, Jessica, I have no idea where your pain is coming from. Literally, that was the day that I said, I'm going to quit. I can't do this anymore. Right. Like, if they can't help me, who can? And so after we figured out where it was coming from and got right to work, it was grueling and gritty. That same doctor asked me to fix her hip 6 months later, and I did. Wow. So that was when I understood I knew my stuff, but I still was kind of in that pocket of, wait, do I know my stuff? Or is this? And then I did it on people, and I used it on everybody that I was training at Equinox. Anybody I made it go through the whole system, and it was fixing everybody. And then I corrected all of the patients in PT. And I got fired from PT because nobody wanted to come there unless I was working there, and they got annoyed by that. So I was like, it's fine. But then she respected that we did different things. And I was fine with that because I really want to correct people. I don't want to play with pain spots. I know what it is to be in pain. I know what it is to not know where it's coming from. And then nothing is helping. I know what that's like. Right. And that's what I want to help with people.
So how is it that you determine where it's coming from, what the source is? So we talked about before, I've got plantar fasciitis in my foot, but you're telling me it's really coming from my hip. Yeah. And I also had pain in my knee. So this is all making sense. But how do you assess this? What do you do?
So I have a set group of movements that I have you do. And I also, foam rolling is a huge part to the system. So it's very sequenced. It's very systematic. So we release everything first so I can see what your body has and what it doesn't have. And your body will, foam rolling, releasing everything, which everybody in life should be doing, period. I don't care if you do no activity, you should be foam rolling. It just exposes everybody by releasing strain off of your joints. So you can see where you're mobile, where you're not, where you're stable, and where you're not. Baseline. And that, me seeing that and watching you move, the minute I get on the call with somebody, I'm assessing them. I'm looking at how they're sitting on the table, how they're leaning, which way did they walk away? I can see if someone's lipping, just if they have their face. I watch everything they're doing. And then I have a whole bunch of system movements that I make them go through so I can test what they are working with.
And again, you're doing this all virtually.
All virtually.
And so this is on Zoom or what?
I use FaceTime or WhatsApp. People tend to are better with that because they can put it on their phone and it's easier. Right. And I've been online since 2009 when it was just Skype. And then in COVID, I took everybody, even in New York, everybody's online for the time being. And now everybody likes it. Even in the local area, everybody likes it. So everybody's online. Yeah.
That's great. And you mentioned foam roller before. Describe for people who don't know, what is a foam roller? Can you buy it? Where do you buy it? And how do you use it?
So foam rollers are literally a piece of foam that is very dense and compacted, and it's an actual roller, like a big old rolling pin. But the colors of the foam rollers really matter. And I always say, get the black one. It is the densest one. It's hard. It's dense. That's the one you want. White is a waste of your money. Blue is a waste of your money. Trigger point stuff is a waste of your money. Hollow ones are a waste of your money. The black hard one on Amazon, it's on there all the time. It's like $20. It will literally give you a whole new understanding of your body. That is the first way to get to understanding what you got going on. I think people really don't get how much control they have of their body, and they think they don't have control when they're in pain, and they do. And this helps that.
And if you don't mind, I mean, when I buy the foam roller, before I see you or what do I do with the foam roller?
Well, I'm very specific. So I would want you to do it with me because I have a whole foam rolling course.
I see.
I have my own foam rolling course, but when I see people online, I actually make them roll with me so I can guide them real time, because and I get a lot of that from my athletes and the people that I work with me. They're like, I've seen people foam roll and they don't roll like us. I've seen it on YouTube. They don't roll like us. And I'm like, I know. So it's very specific. And I have angles matter and all of that matters. I have people who are like, I've been foam rolling for 10 years. And then I see them and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that's not rolling.
Yeah, I've seen some of these funny videos of people in gyms who are doing these exercises.
Oh, God,
when you take a look, like, what are they trying to exercise here? Yeah. But I think a good piece of advice is to buy a foam roller, a black foam roller, which you said is about $20. And then your foam rolling course is online.
So I have people either see me one-on-one, or I also have an entire academy online.
Got it.
So everybody who does see me on one-on-one, they also have access to that. But there's people who are just in the online academy, and I have a whole plantar fasciitis course, Jonathan.
Oh, good.
I have a whole foam rolling course, and I have myths and misconceptions, and I have tons of information for years and years of people just asking questions that I wanted to put in one space that people just had access to at their leisure. Mm-hmm.
Right. So Jessica's website, if you're interested now, is RunPainFreeNow.com. And if you want to get a free assessment with Jessica, you go to runpainfree.com/apply-now.
Correct.
Apply-now.
Yep.
So it's runpainfree.com/apply-now. So Jessica, I want to hear more about your recovery from getting hit by a truck and that flip that you took. And I mean, how long did this recovery take? What kind of process did you go through?
So I waited a year before I knew I could. I operated in a year in extreme pain. Extreme pain.
You didn't have did you have surgeries?
No surgery.
No surgery.
Zero.
Okay.
No surgery for anything. They put me in a sling, and it was December 15th. They put me in a sling for my shoulder, but when 10 days later, that's when I got an appointment. When they took my arm out, they dropped my arm, which you should never do. They just let my arm fall. So the bone protruded. And it's been like that even to this day. So I had shoulder impingement. I had lost the ability to rotate side to side. And again, talking to a dancer and a trainer here. So my body is my income. So that was a problem. So operating with that level of dysfunction, both SI, I had shots in each SI joint. It made it worse. A lot of what I talk about, I've experienced personally and or worked on. Yes. So that's where I come from, such a personal space with things, and I get very invested because of it. I didn't have a me, so I know what I went through in that regard.
Right.
So we started after a year, and within 4 months, and I did it 1 to 2 times per day because I needed to get ahead of it. So I did it 1 to 2 times per day, 5 days a week, and within 4 months, I had 80% of my range of motion back, and my pain was gone.
Wow.
And then I started running.
Wow.
So running was at the tail end of my correction. I never ran anything other than a couple of miles, like on a treadmill for my workout.
Right.
I became a distance runner and running actual mileage post injury. And that's when I understood how completely unit driven that running is and how the total biomechanics, everybody has to be working and functional for you to run without pain. Otherwise, you're going to be in pain somewhere. And then I read medical journals for fun. And I was reading a medical journal at that time, and I saw that back surgeons in Europe were actually prescribing running to back patients in lieu of surgery. I was like, well, this makes sense because I feel that. It feels so much better. I felt so free, and I was like, oh my God, my body, I can actually feel my body again. And I've had an affinity for running ever since.
Wow. And what percentage of your patients are runners, would you say?
I would say it's 50-50.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of runners. I have a lot of rock climbers, dancers, gymnasts. I have people who want to just be active in their 60s, 70s. I have 80-year-olds who just want to be able to do stuff and not be in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you just brought that up and I wanted to ask you about that too. Staying fit or staying in good shape into your 50s, 60s, 70s, and you just mentioned 80s.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
You make sure your body is functional.
Okay.
A dysfunctional body has pain.
Okay.
And the first step to getting a functional body is stripping it clean. And what I mean by that is taking off the orthotics, taking off the braces, stopping the shots, stopping the medicine. You have to feel your body to know what's wrong with it. All these things mask and they Band-Aid, and they are good. Do they get rid of the pain temporarily? Sure. But the real problem never goes away until you actually fix it. And the older you get, the worse that problem is going to get and breed if you don't fix it. So I say, catch it early, catch it fast, learn your body early, and you'll be in your 60s and 70s and 80s doing everything you want to do. So it's really about understanding your body and getting a functional set on your body. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that if you can distinguish, we've got about a minute left here before the next break, but distinguish for me functional movement versus going to the gym and doing weightlifting or running on the treadmill. I need more than a minute, Jonathan. Okay, I'll give you a minute. We'll it's fine. No, it's okay. We really do only have a minute. So I will ask you in the next segment. I'll ask that question again. So we're talking with Jessica Leggio. She's a specialist in sports biomechanics, injury correction, conditioning expert. Her website is runpainfreenow.com. And if you want to get a free assessment with Jessica, it's runpainfreenow.com/apply-now. So we will be back after these messages, and we'll talk more about Jessica's services and just have some more fun. Stay with us.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Today, many doctors prescribe basic pharmaceuticals to their patients who aren't feeling well or have various aches or pains. Is this the right course of action for all patients? We don't think so. Find out about healthy, natural ways to help you feel your best by tuning in to the CBD Ed Show with host Ed Cheney. Ed and his guests will explain full-spectrum CBD using the whole hemp plant for good health and answer all of your questions about CBD and natural treatment in general. Listen Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern on Voice America Variety.
In the spirit of Have Couch Will Travel, Dr. Carol Lieberman creates a haven of sanity in an increasingly insane world. Each day we are bombarded with news of events that have never crossed our wildest nightmares. Society is spiraling out of control and everyone is reeling from it. But now there's an answer. The best way to keep sane in this insane world is to tune in to Dr. Carol's Couch on Voice America. Dr. Carol, a certified media psychiatrist, will broadcast live from her Beverly Hills office every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Call or log in and get help with whatever is sending you reeling, whenever you need a soothing voice to calm and advise you. That's Dr. Carol's Couch every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, here on America's Voice, Voice America.
Work takes up most of your time. That's why you should use Stamps.com to save time with your mailing and shipping and have flexibility to focus on more important things. Stamps.com can handle all your mailing and shipping needs with rates up to 88% off USPS and UPS. Add flexibility to your day with Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com/program to sign up for a special offer. No contract, cancel anytime. That's Stamps.com/program.
.com.
Want an insider's pass to everything that goes on in Hollywood? Join Summer Helene every week for Behind the Scenes. Summer Helene is known as the Duchess of Hollywood because she knows the insiders, legends, and celebs and brings the stories, the gossip, and the backstage scoop. It's the real Hollywood, though. So this program is for adults only. Behind the Scenes can be heard live every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Variety Channel.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network live wherever you go on iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You are listening to Go to Health Radio. To reach Jonathan Marks or his guest expert on the live program, call in to 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. You may also send an email to jonathanmarks@gotohealthmedia.com. Now, back to this week's show.
All right, we're here today with Jessica Leggio. She's a specialist in sports biomechanics, injury correction, and conditioning. Her website is RunPainFreeNow.com. So Jessica, I asked you a question last time that I'd like to get the longer answer to, which is, how do you distinguish functional movement from what I know I do, and I think most people do, is go to the gym, you run on the treadmill, you do the rowing machine, you lift weights. So what's the difference with what you do?
So I'm a strength conditioning specialist. So I want you to get to that. I want you to throw kettlebells and do all that stuff, but you need to be functional to actually benefit from that. So I have a whole podcast, like I mentioned, on how workouts will injure a runner specifically, because the first thing people do, they're like, oh, I'm in pain. Anybody, not just a runner, is like, let me run to the gym and get stronger. Well, right. All you're doing is building that dysfunction stronger. You have to go back to the baseline and unload your body, because body weight, just standing up, loads your spine. So if that is dysfunctional, why would you ever want to put 10 pounds on it or a plate on it or a band on it? You don't want to load that. You want to get your body functional first. Your baseline needs to be a good foundation, and then you can build that. It's like building a house with a cracked foundation, literally. It's just going to plummet, and it's going to plummet bad. So that's the difference between functional training and then loading it. You want to load a functional body and solidify that functional body. But most people have dysfunctional bodies, and they do that. And they are like, the gym hurt me. That workout hurt me. No, you hurt you. Your body is dysfunctional. You're the problem. Nothing else happened. That's you. Fix you, and the workouts will be fine.
Got it. So you're really encouraging people to take responsibility for what's going on in their bodies. You've said that a couple of times where you want to strip your body. You talked about that before, about really getting off all this stuff that you're on or into and just feeling it.
100%. You have to feel it. The only way to the other side of anything is through it. And that's true for so many different facets of life. And it's true with injuries. And if you keep getting to that place and then pulling back, you're never going to get through it to the other side.
Right.
The problem is that fear stops you from going through it to the other side. But then when you have somebody like me on your side, I'll guide you right through it. You get to the other side. And then you're like, oh, this is not so bad.
Right. So Jessica, I'm curious, do you have a team that people work with, or is it just you?
That's it right here. Me.
You're looking at it. Got it. Good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the programs you do have. And I'm sure you have, where you work with people individually and then also in groups. And you also mentioned a podcast before. So let's talk about all those.
So I have a program for everybody. We have a podcast that I do. Naturally, there's a ton of free training in every one of my podcasts. And I have just about 100 right now of those podcasts.
Wow.
I have an entire online community that it's not Facebook. It's our own online community where I have a host of tutorials, webinars, classes, master classes, a whole nutrition program. And it's still as specialized as I can possibly get it. And I still am in there. You have access to me in there. And then working with me one-on-one, which is what is the best option, is to get with me one-on-one. That is a 6-month minimum program with me, because I'm going to fix everything or I fix nothing. And I literally bring your body back to zero and build it all the way up. I don't care how athletic you are or how you've never been athletic. You all start at the same spot. So I can build a good foundation to get you to that place. And we use sport as our feedback. So my programming is developed so that I keep you active the whole time. So people come to me in boots and in crutches. I rip them off, take them off, and we get to work right away. And the minute that I see that foot can move, you're going outside. You're going to go do something, because your real life is the feedback to the work. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm doing anything or on the right track, or the body is always my feedback. I honor the body wherever it is. So it's extremely interactive. It's very individualized. Everything is programmed out per person.
And you're telling me none of your patients, when you say people come to you, they're not coming to you physically. This is all virtually.
All virtually online. I'd see nobody in person. Even here in New York City, all of my tri-state people, someone lives 5 blocks from me. She's online.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't see anybody
amazing
in
you
person.
can do that. Now, you sound so competent. I mean, so confident. You sound competent. Let me say that. You sound very competent, but you also sound incredibly confident that you can fix people's problems. How are you so confident? Where does that confidence come from?
I've literally done nothing but this my entire life. I know bodies. I know movement. I know dysfunctional movement. And I have fixed every single person that has come to me. I have 100% correction results.
Yeah.
And I don't stop until I do. That's also a part of it. I'm very invested, again, because I wish somebody treated me that way. And as much as I don't believe there's any truer expert than an expert that has to go through their expertise as a person. And I had to do that, not knowing it. And I had to learn that I knew my stuff, which was really weird. And I didn't know that I was that big of a deal with my talent. And so it's just what I do. And I know bodies. I know how to get them moving, and I know how to get people out of pain. I just need people's will to go through it, and they can come out the other side.
Right. Yeah. So give me some more detail about the programs you do offer. So your podcast, you said you have, how many did you say you have?
About 100.
Wow. And so do people pay for those? Are they free?
Nope, they're free.
Okay.
The podcast is free.
And how do you get those? How do I get access?
That's on iTunes. It's the RunPainFree podcast. And it's the hashtag RunPainFree podcast. That's on iTunes.
Okay.
I also just wrote a book.
Yes.
And so that you can actually get at runpainfreenow.com/book. And it literally is, it's literally like a guidebook to pain and what you've been told and why that doesn't work and why that might hurt you and how you can really like go through it to the other side of it. And there's correlating links in there. So it's very, again, I do interactive highly. I like to over deliver so that people get as much information as possible. So we have that as well. And by the way, folks, I do have on the Go to Health Media website, where you're listening to us right now on a podcast, but you can also watch this show on gotohealthmedia.com. And on Jessica's page, which you will see there, I'm going to put a number of links to the products that she's talking about. So there's a link to her book. I will put a link to her podcast there. There's the book, Run Pain Free. Great. And tell us about some of the other programs, Jess. So the injury recovery program is either like with me is I'm pretty much doing everything for you. I am programming out your correction, which is also athletically conditioning you. Even if you don't feel like you're an athlete, life is a sport, and I treat it that way. And I treat everybody like an athlete because you all are. So I create programs designed for you specifically when you're working with me one-on-one. You get a whole bunch of intel on your body, and then you get a program on top of that for, say, like if you're a runner or you're dancing or whatever that sport is, there's a specific program for that sport as well. So it's sport-specific training on top of it. If someone doesn't like doing anything, life plays into that. So they like to go on walks, or they like to go hiking, or whatever that is. Right. That's a part of their programming. So that's the injury recovery program, is taking them from a framework, and we go from correcting the body, releasing it, getting your range of motion, figuring out what kind of motion you have, what do you got, what are you working with, and then we build it and load it and make you stronger after injury is literally our motto, because it's what we do. We build the body stronger after injury. And then in the academy, it's self-directed. So it's at your own pace. You go at your own pace. When you're with me, we're on a schedule, but with the when in the academy, you're on pace at your own time, and you can rewind and go back and look at all of the programs. And again, you have access to me in there, and the entire group in there has been through what you're going to go through. So the support system is very big in there. The community aspect is big in there. And we really do protect the integrity of the programming and the people in the program.
That's great. How long have you been doing this?
So RunPainFree is 15 years. And I've been studying this for about 38.
Got it. You don't look a day over 29.
Thank you.
That's great. So again, this is Jessica Leggio, and you can watch our show at gotohealthmedia.com. And you'll see Jessica's show there. You can also visit Jessica's website at runpainfreenow.com. And I will put the links that Jessica's mentioning on our website at Go to Health Media. So what questions haven't I asked you yet, Jessica, that I should be asking you?
I think you've done a really good job. I would say that it's not about you're never not going to get fixed. There's nothing that is unfixable. Everything is fixable mechanically, like physically fixable. I have a heart issue that's not fixable, but mechanically we can fix things. So I think the belief system and the limiting belief is a big thing when it comes to pain and people waking up in pain, or people just living in pain, and they don't have to. And so I think the thought process is more about getting that message out to your listeners that it's not something you have to live with, like chronic pain. That's hogwash. Like, you don't have to live in pain. There is a way to do it. You just haven't found the right person to actually help you through it. And we exist. Right. So that's the biggest thing. I think people just, relent, and they're like, oh, and a lot of my clients, they're like, I just thought I was going to be a person with foot pain for the rest of my life. Yeah. I thought I was going to have this knee pain for the rest of I just was relenting to that. Right. Like, that's the worst. What kind of quality of life is it? It's about quality of life. Yeah. And that's what we go for at the end of the day.
Good. Now, you said at the beginning of the show that you get referrals from doctors. Do you work when you take on a new client? Do you either communicate or work with the doctor or coordinate at all with the doctor?
I have had, it's always different, but I would say the majority of the time there's little interaction other than the person goes back for their checkup and they're like, keep going. So, and I had a person with both hips, the necks of their hips at where their thigh bone, the femur is, were completely cracked. And so she had known me for 4 years, signed on to the program. And within 3 months went back and he was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because both your bones are healed.
Wow.
So there's that level. And when the ego is out of the way, health professionals can do amazing stuff. Yes. But if there's an ego involved, then people get hurt. And I'm not about that. So I'm here to help people, period.
Right. Good. Now, do you recommend that people talk to their doctor first before they engage with you?
89% of business leaders say AI is a top priority. But with AI tools popping up everywhere, how do you separate the helpful from the hype? The right choice is crucial, which is why teams at 1/3 of Fortune 500 companies use Grammarly. With over 15 years of experience building responsible, secure AI, Grammarly isn't just another AI communication assistant. It's how companies like yours increase productivity while keeping data protected and private. Designed to fit the needs of business, Grammarly is backed by a user-first privacy policy and industry-leading security credentials. This means you won't have to worry about the safety of your company information. Grammarly also emphasizes responsible AI, so your company can avoid harmful bias. See why 70,000 teams and 30 million people trust Grammarly at Grammarly.com/enterprise. That's Grammarly.com/enterprise. Grammarly, enterprise-ready AI.
It's not necessary. I love images. I think images are a part of the story. So I always believe in getting images or getting an MRI. If anybody has them, I require them before my consult so I can see them. But it's not necessary. It's not. I don't need them to see a doctor before they see me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times people don't, or they've been through the mill, and then they're like, "Ugh, I'm all hope is gone. Let me see Jessica now. No pressure."
Good. Jessica, it's been wonderful having you on the show. I'm so glad we've met, and I look forward to helping you get your word out. And
thank you.
I've been talking with Jessica Leggio. That's Leggio. And she's a specialist in sports biomechanics, injury correction, and she's also a conditioning expert. Her website with many programs that you have is at RunPainFreeNow.com. If you'd like to get a personal free consult from Jessica, you can go to RunPainFreeNow.com/apply-now. Jessica, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Good. Yeah, it was really great. So everybody, this has been a wonderful show. Come back next week. We will have another guest. And if you'd like to sign up for our newsletter and our weekly updates with shows, you can go to gotohealthmedia.com and click the tab that says Get Updates. And then we've also got our whole listing of shows there in video, so you can enjoy those. And I do recommend watching things again because I think you learn more when you encounter material a second time. So if you're into that and you have the patience, you'll enjoy it. Jessica, thank you so much. Everybody have a great week. Enjoy the holidays coming up, and we'll see you again next week. This is Jonathan Marks with Go to Health. And as we say at the end, go to health. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Radio. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time and 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.
Americans are durable. We take pride in hard work and high quality. American Giant makes durable quality clothing right here in the USA because what we wear reflects who we are. When you buy American Giant, you're not just wearing the best clothes money can buy. You're helping keep jobs and pride in your own backyard. Premium clothing built to last decades, like it should. Get 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code RightHere24.